I'm leaving New York. Damn, I'm a little rusty. Haven't skated in a hot minute. Anyways, I just wanted to preface this video by saying I'm not making this video to say anyone should not move to New York or that they should leave New York. I'm just making it to offer my experience and my perspective on living here, and yeah, just give you guys some insight from my view. Everyone's gonna have different reasons to stay or leave New York, and it's a completely personal decision that everyone should make for themselves. But with that being said, I do think it's important to get different perspectives when making big life decisions, especially when you're like moving and stuff. When I was trying to decide whether or not I should stay or leave New York, I called a bunch of different people. I was just getting their input, and ultimately I decided for myself what I had to do. So I definitely recommend getting different perspectives from people you trust. Thought I found a good spot to film, but it smells like sewage over here. New York. So I moved to New York from Minnesota in October of 2018, and before I moved to New York, I visited for about 3 weeks in the summer of 2018. There wasn't a lot going on for me in Minnesota at the time, and my brother just texted me one day because he lived in New York City, and he was like, "Hey, when are you coming to New York?" So I was like, right now, I'm booking my flight. So I went to New York, visited for 3 weeks. It was really fun. I got a few photography gigs while I was here, met a lot of awesome people, even met a girl, and I explored the city a lot, and it was just really fun. New York is a great place to visit, but to live here, in my opinion, is just a bit of a different story. After I got back from my trip, I decided I was going to move to New York City, and my reasons for doing that were basically, as I mentioned, I got so loud here. This is like the one place where I thought I could film without any distractions because it was really quiet, but now there's like a bunch of machinery going on behind me. New York. So after I got back from my trip to New York, I decided I was going to move to New York, and my reasons for doing that were basically, as I mentioned before, I got some photography gigs, thought I would work on a little bit of music. I had a lot of friends that moved here, and I met a girl that I wanted to see again. I just wanted to try something new and go way out of my comfort zone. And trust me, this was way out of my comfort zone. So I did it. I packed up all my stuff, sold my car, sold all my stuff, and flew to New York City. So now I've lived here for nearly 3 years. It's been a crazy journey. I definitely feel like I've learned a lot about myself, my values, and what my goals are, and that's why I'm leaving. This place has been pretty soul-sucking. It hasn't really inspired me. And I've never really felt at ease here, like this is the place where I belong, and there's many reasons for that. My number one is that it is damn expensive. It's pretty difficult to take time off work, travel, and just live and breathe like a normal human being. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a robot. Alright, number two, it's pretty overstimulating here. It is really hard to escape people. You're constantly surrounded by people, loud noises, the smells of hot garbage on a midsummer's day, constantly just in the air, these hot garbage smells. Like almost getting squashed on my bike multiple times. Like riding your bike out here is like freaking war zone. It's pretty crazy. But I feel like you never really get a moment of pure, true silence. I don't really think humans are meant to be in this kind of environment. Some people like being constantly like distracted by things, like go, go, go. I just don't feel like that's me. Like my brain doesn't really work like that. I feel like I have ADHD, so my brain is kind of like, oh, you want to get something done today? Here's another thing to distract you, and another thing, and another thing, and another thing. And when there's constantly Like, even when I'm trying to film this video, like, it's hard to find a spot where I can just not be around people. But all I know is I'm definitely not meant to be in this kind of environment. Number 3, everywhere I go, I am constantly reminded of the torture and violence that humans cause to animals. Like, I swear, I think I have some sort of like PTSD from being in slaughterhouses, watching animals get their throats slit, choking on their own blood. Like, I just don't get how people can't see it. Like, you're literally eating a tortured animal's body, and you're literally eating like the breast milk of a mother who suffered her whole life. Like, that's what cheese is. It's so wrong and so disgusting what we do to animals. Like, I was literally just at a vigil this morning. If you don't know what a vigil is, it's where activists go outside of a slaughterhouse and basically bear witness to the animals that go in for slaughter. So we stop the trucks and take pictures with the animals, give them water and stuff. And today, there was like 100 of these like baby lambs crammed into this truck. It's like 90 degrees outside and super humid, and they're all stacked on top of each other. And like, we were giving them water, and literally every single one of them was so like, they wanted water so bad because they'd been on that truck for so long. And people will like ridicule people for leaving dogs in their car on a hot summer's day. But then like everyone, those same people will pay for these animals to be in these trucks. And these animals are no different to the dogs and cats that people have at home. It's just crazy to me. They're just suffering, and it's just constant suffering, and this happens every single day. I'm constantly bombarded with this, especially being in New York. Like, we got slaughterhouses down the street here. We got advertisements on every corner glamorizing dead animal flesh. My roommate's got decomposing corpses in the fridge. I'm working in a grocery store, and everyone's buying meat, dairy, and eggs. Like, I'm supposed to ring this person up at the cash register and be like, "Hi, how are you?" While I'm thinking about the animal that got stabbed to death for the steak that they just bought. It really just fucks with my head, and it's the most insane thing that is completely normal in our society right now. If you're not yet vegan and you're listening to this, use your empathy, use your compassion, use your logic, and understand that you do not need animal products to survive and be healthy. Like, these are all just lies that are fed to us from the industries. Fake studies, propaganda, advertising, and marketing. Like, we literally do not need animal products to survive. And when you purchase meat, dairy, and eggs, you pay for animals to suffer and die for you. It is completely needless animal cruelty, and we can live completely fine and live healthier without that disgusting shit in our bodies. So yeah, just being in New York, like, I feel like everything is kind of amplified in that sense. Like, there's so many more people, so much more demand for animal products, and it's just like everywhere. It's in my head. Can't escape it, not just gonna ignore it. Can't do that, so. Alright, it's getting a bit dark, so I gotta kind of hurry this thing up. My number 4 is the lack of nature. This is probably the biggest reason for me leaving. I was actually originally planning on staying in New York. Then I went on a backpacking trip in the Pacific Northwest, and it was just the most amazing thing to me. I vlogged the whole thing, so keep an eye out for those videos. But when I got back to New York after that trip, I was just looking around. I was at work, and I was looking around, and I was like, why am I here? Like, I do not want to be in New York. This place doesn't make me happy. So then I made the really hard decision to move back to Minnesota. There's a lot more nature in Minnesota. I'll have a lot more financial freedom to do the things I love, take more time off, travel, things like this. And I will be coming back to New York and visiting just to do some like activism with Plant Strength and things like this. But I just feel like the overall quality of life will be better for me in Minnesota. So that's really why I'm leaving. The only real reason why I wanted to stay in New York was to do activism with Plant Strength. If you didn't already know, I have another YouTube channel, Plant Strength, where I work with my friend Bobby and Jamie and DJ, and we put out videos pretty much every week. We are gonna try to work remotely, and I'll probably fly back to New York every few months or once a month or so to shoot some videos and stuff. But I already plan on coming back in September the 9th through the 16th for Kaporos. We're gonna go try to rescue some chickens. To summarize, New York City is a great place to visit, but not really to live, in my opinion. my chapter of living here is over. I don't think I'll ever live here again. And it's time to just move on to bigger and better things, like building a camper van with my dad. Drink lots of water. Vegan water.